The Clinch, chatting all things MMA.
Welcome to the Clinch, and the best MMA show that I've ever been on, Graeme Cartmell. This is Simon Stephen, he's the interviewer. He's going to be asking me a whole lot of questions.
Talking all things MMA on eNCA.com.
Talking all things MMA on eNCA.com.
Can't even remember his lines. Let's get straight through. Graeme Cartmell, welcome.
I've never been good at lines. I've only been good at delivering truth.
Not the lines of words, though. Next week, EFC 55, Cape Town.
Yeah.
Let's get straight into it. Let's cut the bullshit. Demarte against Irshaad. Is this the biggest fight in the history of the EFC, or is it just the build-up's just been unbelievable?
It's everything. I think it's going to deliver on all levels. Like, you look at the fact that there's two definitive champions. It's not like Demarte's kind of even though he's an interim champion, sometimes there's paper stand-in champions. He's a legitimate champion. And obviously so is Demarte. 12-0. Oh, he's going to go 12-0 if he wins. He's 11-0.
Yeah.
Stylistically, it's great. Hype, it's great. And for a long time, people have said, who can beat Demarte?
Yeah.
Irshaad is certainly in the running. I mean, the guy's good. He's phenomenal. He's got every bit of skill set that Demarte's got, I believe. He can work the wrestling. His submission game is amazing. We know his stand-up is on point. So, yeah, it is the biggest fight. Yes,
we had,
to answer the question.
We had Cedric Doyle on last month with JP Kruger. It was a cracking episode. And I asked Cedric, I said, you fought both. You've lost to both the guys. Who would you give it to? And he gives it to Demarte on experience. But you and I were there at the EFC 54 post-event press conference. And I asked Irshaad, is this the biggest fight of your career? And he reminded me of the Chinese fights, the tough fights, the
he's got as much experience. The thing is, okay, I understand where he's saying, so he gave it to Demarte. Cedric gave it to Demarte.
Yeah, he did. On experience, but we kind of forget that the amount of experience.
Yes, okay, and he's done the rounds. He's done way more rounds than Irshaad's ever done. But I think it's so... if I was betting, which, I'd advise everybody should do, because we keep on getting all these figures and people are winning money.
The winnings
left, right, and centre.
Incredible, yeah.
But to be honest with you, if I was a betting man... this would be the one that I'd be scratching my head and biting my nails, worried about laying that bet, because it can go either way. I mean, Cedric Doyle tested Demarte in the stand-up, and in that early exchange,
he rocked him in that first round.
Demarte was in trouble, and we know that Irshaad's phenomenal in his stand-up game. So, what's the question mark? Will Irshaad be able to sort Demarte out in terms of test his chin, lay into him? I don't know. Demarte is so physical, and he uses that wrestling so well. He point scored his way through the Cedric Doyle fight, Demarte. So I don't know. It's up in the air. It's up in the air. Anybody can take it on the night. Seriously.
It's look, if it matches Andrew Fanzel against Elvis Moy, I'll be more than happy.
Well, we know it's going to be. It has a big possibility of ending up like that.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys both don't finish quickly. They like to stand and trade. They like to really fight a fighter's fight. Yeah. So I think it's going to be exciting.
It's kind of similar conundrum with Dave Mazzani against Madge, because Dave, when he came on the show, said everyone underestimates his striking, and he thinks he's got a pretty good striking game, and he does. And yet Don is probably the greatest striker in the division. And yet John's been working hectically these past couple of years on his ground game, even back in Cape Town before he moved to FFM, where he's lit the afterburners on his jits and his wrestling. But we all know that Dave Mazzani's an amazing wrestler. I mean, where'd you call that fight? You say you're scratching your head against Irshaad and Demarte. Here we got Mazzani against Madge.
The difference with this fight, I think, is that I can't really talk about Dave's stand-up game because I haven't seen it. I know he's got a wrestler's stylistic stand-up game where he throws big overhand rights. He likes to land big punches. He's not going to stand there and clinically box somebody. I just worry about Don's BMT or just getting in the range. If he's confident, he's on fire. And let me tell you, that kid is a phenom. Like, I don't know of another lightweight in this organization that can go as far as he can because of the kind of trail of experience he has behind him with the Muay Thai and his ability to really showcase that in the fight environment. Like, he really puts it on. Richard Kwan said something interesting to me. He said, I've pushed Don, like I did Boyd, to let go of this fight fit style of fighting and fight your own fight. get into your style. We'll polish up all the edges and make sure it looks it's sound, but fight your own fight. Be surprised if you don't see Don Mad shoot up a lot of submissions and throw a hell of a lot of kicks. We know that he can lay people down. Tyson Chillin is an example with those body kicks. Wow, I mean, they almost kick through the opponent. So that's one thing you're going to look out for. I think he's going to be kicking a lot, which opens him up to a lot of takedowns with Dave.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to do what Leon did, which is make the mistake of kind of, allowing. If he can keep the distance, we're in for a massive fight.
Yeah, but that was Mazzani's experience was getting up from the scramble into a place to put the submission on with that standing guillotine. Don's not going to make the same mistake. Surely after watching that.
Why did he do that?
I don't know.
What the hell was he thinking? I mean, he's so much better than that.
Yeah. Yeah, I got an inkling from a source that actually Leon drilled the defense for the standing guillotine because they knew that it was a move that Mazzani was kind of fond of. Yeah. So I don't know if that's still if necessarily true. I haven't asked Leon that, so
possibly. I just think, not that I mind that Dave won. I just wanted to see much more of a fight from Leon because I know that, man, that guy's just worth every inch. Like, I love watching him fight.
Yeah, and he's going to be in. We'll get on to December. In
man, I don't want to talk about December. December is a fight card that is also, what do you do? We're going to finish this year off strong. We built careers, we built amazing fights, cards. Everybody is, you must understand how many people are phoning me, how many fighters are being so hectic with me about getting on the December fight card.
Oh, but it's stacked
Gareth
already.
Bursky wants on there, Pierre Buerta wants on there, like literally guys' wives are emailing me saying, you have to put my husband on this fight card, please. I want to be a part of it because,
Isn't it booked up? Isn't it stacked? UFC 56?
It's done, man. We maybe have one fight left.
December at Carnival City. We'll talk about it later because I really want to talk about UFC 55 because there's a whole bunch of other really fantastic stuff. Brendan Chrunoval's got the tools. He submitted Tomasz Kowalkowski and he knocked out Elvis Moyo, but I'm confused with the heavyweight division. So give me a chance here because
we actually laid out this landscape yesterday. So
Wessel Mostert, does he get the next shine Andrew Van Sale or is it Mike Vermeulen?
He's a big contender in that division, absolutely. And if I have to rate the contendership, I would say he's right up there. He's possibly the number one contender.
More than Tank Mike Vermeulen?
Yes. And I'll explain why.
Okay, go on.
I think that Mike is a phenomenal fighter, but I have to really put the guys up against Andrew in my mind and think, what would make the best fight?
Yeah.
What are you going to sit there and go, holy crap, I want to buy a ticket to see that. I want to go and watch that on TV. That's going to make a beautiful fight. I think Wessel has all the makings skill-wise. He just needs to get the experience level up. Yeah. So I would like to offer him another fight. I'm going to give him another fight. And if he wins there, then he's a shoe-in for a contendership fight. And so Mike Vermeulen gets another fight. Yeah. Elvis Moyo gets back on the train because who doesn't want to see Andrew Moyo too?
Yeah. Everyone wants to know who Elvis is fighting next. So then next week you've got Brendan Chrunoval against Ruan Potts.
I actually have it on my phone.
What, Moyo's next opponent?
All three of those guys.
Oh, you got to call it up.
Am I going to leak it here?
Yeah, you're going to leak it there. Because I do want to know what happens to the winner of this heavyweight main card fight next week. To Ruan Potts has taken Brendan Chrunoval. Ruan's got one win in the last 3 years. I want to know what happens to him if he beats Brendan.
They definitely, either one of those two guys are considered contenders. Because they're fighting each other and they're both champions.
Yeah. That's right.
So you need to put them back in the slot. Do I bump them ahead of Wessel? I don't think so. Not yet. I would like to see one of them fight again. Yeah. An international, possibly. We've got some serious internationals coming in.
Give me what you got there, because that sounds ridiculous.
So, I have a new athlete that we haven't signed him yet, but we're looking at him. A guy named Carl Etherington. Fought in Bama, he's a British guy, 12-2, only lost twice. One was against Bobby Lashley.
Okay, wow. So
he is a seriously experienced, highly touted guy.
Okay. Possibly
bring him in and fight the winner of Potts Chrunoval.
Okay. Wow.
That would really set.
And that's the March card next year,
for one of those guys. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I want to do Mostert and Mustard. Not because it sounds good, but
sound
because
good.
it does sound good. I mean, we know Mustard likes to brawl, and we
It's
know
a
that
must-win
Vessel-
fight for most fans.
Yeah.
For Mustard against Mustard. That's great.
I want to see that fight happen.
That's a
I think
cracking
it'll be a cool fight.
Yeah.
Also gives him nice credibility if Vessel wins.
Yeah, Tony was so disappointed, wasn't he? He was a great
We didn't
guy.
see the
What a
best of
great-
Tony.
No,
I
we
think
didn't.
he's still got a long way to go in the organisation. So this will be the kind of fight that will help him.
It's his first professional loss. He was shocked, wasn't he? He
They went like 6-0 all first round ticket. But that's what happens. Is these guys that just smoke through everybody. They come in, the lights kill you, the
for sure.
cameras, the atmosphere of EFC is big. It's a big
That'll be
ask.
different next time around for him, I'm sure.
Yeah, so we got that going down, and hopefully, and then I still need to propose it. So,
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
we maybe do Groenewold. I mean, we do Elvis Moya versus Mike Vermeulen. I think that'll be a good fight, a good brawl. The
You haven't
guys
proposed it to them yet, though.
well, no, and I mean, we know that Elvis will take a fight against anybody. He just wants to fight.
Yeah.
So I'm going to propose it to them for early next year and get Mike in there. Because, by the way, Mike was sick, eh? He was very...
Yeah, I
he
heard
said
he
to
had
me
the
he was,
flu,
on,
that's right.
he was flu, riddled
Yeah.
with the flu. And you could see it. He looked really depleted.
Has he lost yet in the EFC, Mike? For
No,
I don't think he has.
I think
He's
he's
undefeated.
undefeated,
5-0 or something like that.
4-0.
4-0.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a fantastic, a great guy.
So it'll be a nice fight. So, yeah, there's lots of things happening in the heavyweight division.
So that how do you see Rowan against Brendan Groenewold? Like you said, two former champions, both really good jets.
Don't you find with both of them, when they're on, they're on?
Yeah.
If they have a shit day in the office, it's the worst day ever.
Yeah. Yeah, so it depends which
You know,
one they turn up.
it depends. Come November 11th, we'll know whether they've woken up on the right side of the bed. And because how is that going to go? Jiu-jitsu wise, they've both got great jiu-jitsu games. Stand up, neither of them stronger suit.
Yeah.
They like to brawl to get into a position where they're strong on the ground. So we might just see a grappling match. And I'm okay with that for heavyweights, because if it's technical, it's beautiful.
Yeah. No, for sure. No, everyone loves heavyweight jets. So it's a fantastic thing to see. It's art of the big guys. But I think if they're going to watch this show, I think you've laid out the heavyweight landscape pretty bloody clear there, Graeme.
Yeah.
So that gives them plenty to think about. Bolden Umdlalosi again on the main card, straight after the Sun City event. Great to see him. Such a classic guy in defeat last time when he lost to JP Base. A win against a veteran like Franaconda would do wonders for him, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Baldy's a phenomenal athlete. I mean, it's like getting knocked out. A submission that quick is the same as getting knocked out. He did it to JP Base, and we offered JP a title fight against him.
Yeah.
So do I look at Baldy and go, oh, he lost? No. You look at it, you go, okay. And that is the beauty of mixed martial arts, is you consistently look at the merit of the athlete and not their record in conjunction with the fights that they can offer. So you don't go, okay, well, he's knocked to the bottom of the pile. You still know that Franaconda, who was also a title contender at one stage and fought Demarte, can rehash his career, can come back in if he just polishes up a few areas. Same with Baldwin.
Yeah.
I think that Fran is so sneaky on the ground.
He's incredible.
And Baldwin, I think he's going to be able to match him in the strength and the stand-up. Baldwin wants to fight Zulu Boy. He doesn't even want to fight. He didn't want to fight JP. He wants to fight somebody he can stand and trade with. But he's got to get through these types of guys if he wants that fight.
Yeah, what happens to Francois Groenewold if he wins? I mean, he's been around for a long time.
We'll look at something for him. I mean, he's not far. I mean, he's there.
How's he doing at SBG in Cape Town? What's
he's doing
What's
really
that
well.
camp like?
I have no clue, to be honest with you. It's one of the only camps I have no clue how it's going because it's so far removed outside of Cape Town. I know he's got Tumi Sangmandiba who's training down with him down there, and Tumi moved down. And he looks like he's turned into a proper BJJ, growing a beard.
What's wrong with that?
Like somebody else, I know.
Well,
growing
the beard's
a beard
right. The BJJ's not. Oh, that's cool. I mean, we're great.
There's only one other guy that I know can't grow a beard, but that probably would, is Richard Kwan would probably grow a beard.
Richard would be a very sage guru if he could grow a beard.
Exactly.
It would be awesome. Finally seeing Dino Bagattin fight again. Why such a long wait? I mean, EFC 40 he lost for.
Look, I'm going to be honest with people, and I think people should know. There was a scary time when Dino was health-wise. We had a bit of a scare with him, and we were worried because he was dropping in gym when he would get hit.
Okay.
So we've built up such a good relationship now, and I'm really proud to say it with the gyms that we can really be involved in that process, where they go, hey, Graeme, this guy needs to go to a doctor.
Yep.
I won't allow you to match him. And I'm like, thank goodness. No, I don't want to match him. Let's keep him off and let's get him the medical attention.
Cool.
So we took him for scans, got him scanned, make sure that through Rob Collins, proper sports physicians, guys that are able to monitor him and make sure that he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And he's cleared.
Fantastic.
And he's ready to rock. And it's gonna be a really good return fight for Dino, and also a sort of return fight for Cam.
Yeah.
Because Cam's been out with a knee injury.
He came off a no contest for his last fight.
No, he was winning that fight, man. He was smashing Francois.
Yeah, it wasn't that many blows to black of the head. But let's say he's 3-0, isn't he, basically, Cameron? I mean, he's like Chris Bright's golden boy.
I rate that kid so much, man. Do you see how he knocked out Kapanga Trezor?
Yeah.
He knocked him clean out.
Yeah.
I mean, that boxing, you think, I know he's jiu-jitsu all day, and then all of a sudden he comes out with what it was, a left hook.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Dropped him.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a really, really cool fight out of that. And that guy is the guy to watch out for in the welterweight division.
Yeah, I mean, his submissions are varied. He's a strong guy. He's a big guy. He's difficult. His stand-up's great. But going against a guy like Dino, and there's not many, there's a lot of fans out there, but a lot of them have come up to me this past year in 2016, Graeme, and saying, where's Dino fighting again? You know, it's like more than any other fighter, people have asked me about Dino Bagattin.
We put him in Cape Town. I've said the joke. The East Rand guys they're probably seething. What the hell is this? Good fight. Good fight for Dino, good fight for Cam. And I hope that they can really, both of them, just such good trajectories if they can win.
Yeah.
You know?
That's going to be a cracking fight. Siba Sisu Mdoku and Wesley Haw are on the undercard. Are you out of your tree, Cartmell? Why?
You know what?
That's an amazing fight.
You know what I wanted to do? I believe in Siba Sisu. He's on a bad run at the moment. If he's listening to the show, if he's watching the show, he must take heed into what I'm saying. He is a phenomenal athlete. Yeah. He's tough as nails. He's only ever lost when the spotlight has been on him in such intensity. He brings a massive crowd to the show. I love having him on the fight cards, but I wanted to take the spotlight off him. Have him fight, get his teeth again, feel what it's like to be in there. And I believe, it's not an easy matchup, but it's a matchup that's good enough for him to, like a good enough opponent for him to fight, but also somebody that I know that he can have a fight with.
Yeah, well, Hawkeye will definitely give him that. But then it depends on what kind of Wesley turns up, doesn't he? He was caught napping badly against Sizuam Nakati, but he looked fantastic against Brendan Katz. Which Wesley Hawkeye's going to turn up in Cape Town next week?
I hope it's the better one, but you never know with Wes because he's on fire at the moment. He's looking really good at the moment, but he's just had a kid. Missed weight, so phoned me. He was supposed to make 61.
When was this?
Well, he was matched to fight Francois Groenewald.
Right.
Then we swapped that fight out. He phoned me and says, please, I want to stay on this card. Please, I can't make 61. And he told me how much weight he'd cut and the whole story because we're monitoring that now. I said, no way. So we got him a comfortable weight. 70 kilos. It's far off from 61.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a mess up because I would have loved for him to gone down there and start winning and start being relevant. And then all of a sudden in that division in Bantamweight, can you imagine another matchup with him and Irshaad or him and Demarte would have been spectacular.
It would be fantastic.
So let's see how this fight goes for him. I don't know how he's going to turn up. He's a funny guy. I like him, man. He's got
he's a character
swag. He's got his own sort of character, and that's not a facade. I mean, in his WhatsApps, he'll call me "Hello, Cake." What's happening? He's a strange character.
What does he call you, Cake?
I don't know. It's a Durban thing. That probably means like you idiot or something.
I'll ask him. Sylvester Chipfumbu is fighting Guy Mongambi before that fight, and Chipfumbu is a very exciting fighter, fantastic prospect. But Guy Mongambi looks like the kind of guy who is just won't stop.
All bricks,
Yeah, he's tough as nails. And he lost on debut, but I kind of get the feeling that at CIT they're going to be fixing things pretty quickly. Yeah. That's a cracking fight. Yeah.
They don't accept losses well. They really go back to the drawing board and try and build the guy back up. So
how do you see that fight? Because they're both great prospects. Sylvester's just like very talented.
I think
Guy's tough as nails.
Guy's they're both tough. They're both skilled. So I think that they are equally as skilled as each other. It's going to come out probably range. Chipfumbu is just, he can use it.
Yeah, he's lanky,
we saw it against Lawrence.
Yeah.
He couldn't put Lawrence away, though. So that does tell you something. Lawrence is also on that on this fight card, and he's tough as nails.
Yeah.
So to be honest, I think that it's going to be a difficult fight for both of them. That might end up being a 3-rounder.
Well, I won't
complain
about that because it's actually a really great undercard. Also on the undercard, Regis. Frosty.
How good did he look in his last fight?
He looked fantastic. He did. It was against Shogun Jembo,
who I thought was
great,
building quite nicely.
Yeah, and Regis looked fantastic, but he badly needed that win. In fact, it was interesting. I did find this out that it's his 8th fight in the AFC, and only once has he ever fought out of Cape Town, which was at the Dome.
Are you telling me something there? Should I?
No, I just think Regis needs to fight a little bit more because he's and start building. But then Tyson is a very underrated vet. He's also been around a long time, and a loss for either of these guys at this point in their career would be really.
This should headline the
bad,
preliminary bouts. This is going to be a technical showpiece.
Yeah,
they seriously are really, really good.
Yeah,
I think if Regis relies on his jiu-jitsu, we could see him taking it. If Tyson can keep it standing, he'll take it because I know he's legit. But I will say these words, and the exact opposite will happen. You know what I mean?
Unself-fulfilling.
You know what I mean? It's always like that. I'll always say, "Oh no, this guy, watch out in the stand-up," and all of a sudden, his jiu-jitsu, like he's been hiding his brown belt under his.
We wanted to know what you feel. Don't second guess yourself.
No, I think that they are really, really phenomenal athletes. And they're so malleable. They can really work in any department.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I mean, gone are the days where you can say, that's a jiu-jitsu guy, only guy.
Sure.
You know, because you say that about Armand Skippers, and then he'll stand for 3 rounds and put on a showpiece. Yeah. So, you know, every single one of these guys now is coming in with that understanding. I have to be well-rounded. If I'm one-dimensional, I'm going to get eaten up.
Yeah, no, for sure. Neil Duplessis fighting again, and he's going to need all his technique against Bassam Bombo.
Yeah, he went 3 rounds, Bassam Bombo.
I mean, that was an absolutely fantastic fight. And lost on, Neil won on debut, but Matwali lost. He's going to need all his strength, isn't he, and all his technique in this fight.
Yeah. Bassam Bombo, strong, physical. Neil doesn't quite have that physical element, but he's got the technique.
Yeah. And
he's got a lot riding on his shoulders, you know?
Yeah.
Brother Drickus is the kind of turning out to be the golden boy of UFC at the moment. So I love it when there's so much on the line because you know that everybody's going to be watching that with.
Yeah, no, Matwali lost on debut and Neil won on debut.
Yeah, but Matwali went 3 rounds. It's not like he was shabby.
No, he wasn't.
He looked great, man.
Yeah, he looks like a handful.
And Mike is really good. Mike's a good coach.
Yeah.
We were talking about the whole thing with Don Madge prior to this, but you know, Mike is a phenomenal coach.
Yeah.
You know, he's produced some of the best guys out of Cape Town.
No, PFA is the bomb, man. I know it was like a lot of last week's episode caused quite a lot of opinions on social media, which is great. That's the way it should be.
People are invested in UFC. They are so invested. It's crazy.
Yeah, it should be. That's the way it should be. The first prelim bout, Lawrence Butt is a very inconsistent record, but he seems to be the guy who just wants to fight just because he loves the sport.
You know
what?
It's his last fight. It's his last fight.
He told you that, or was
I want to fight one more. I think he wanted 10 professional fights in the UFC. And then he wanted to call it quits. So this is his last fight.
Who's he fighting? Joshua. What tell us about him?
Gary Joshua is a beast. Look, I've given him a proper send-off because Gary Joshua is. When I signed him, I kind of casually signed him and thought, okay, cool. And I've heard a lot about him, but nothing. And everybody, including Don Madge, you know, who knows the Cape Town scene, has said to me, "Holy shit, is a."
He's legit.
He's the kid.
Really.
Great jiu-jitsu. Great stand-up, and there isn't a tougher human being besides Andrew Van Zyl and Lawrence Woods for him to fight.
Wow. Okay.
So I think it's going to be a cracker. First fight is going to be what the hell's going on here?
Remind me of this next time you give a retirement party for me because that's just nasty.
Proper send-off.
We haven't missed anything out from this card, have we?
No. Only that it's just amazing. I mean, it's going to be an awesome fight.
And it's in Cape Town. It's at Grand West. It's next Friday, the
11th.
And it's going to be a cracker. I mean, those two the main event and the co-main event.
It's amazing.
Absolutely ridiculous.
It's cool.
I mean,
it's the perfect fight card for Cape Town, as is 56 the perfect fight card for December.
Ridiculous. What a great way of sending out the year. Graeme Cartmell, thank you so much for coming on the Clinch.
Man, it's always a pleasure. I love the show. Thank you very much,
Cheers,
Simon.
mate, thanks.
Cool, mate.
With Clinch, chatting all things MMA.